the sun, huh, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it seems pretty warm and nice.
Do you use that same
You
perfume?
like
I do.
What is that?
Ask
Like
him.
I said, like heat.
How's everyone doing this
My
evening?
body.
This afternoon?
Good. Ready for
We're
the
good.
evening?
Ready for this evening?
We're thankful it was in the afternoon.
I know, right?
I can't believe
We
that.
came here, I walked up here at 10, Joseph walked up here, because he didn't hear, but I did and I forgot,
Right.
so.
Yeah, she was telling me.
He doesn't
that-
have an excuse, but I do. Oh my goodness.
The
It's okay, I got a lot of things done.
well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're running a little bit behind.
Okay, so I just
But,
did the search.
It's 1:10 now, and I'm gonna go ahead and give a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege and opportunity that you've given us to be in the land of the living once again. We ask that as we go forward this class, that you would fulfill your promise in teaching us, for you've told us that if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who upbraideth not, will give it to all men freely. We pray that you would give us wisdom and understanding and knowledge. Thank you for hearing us and answering our prayers. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
It's nice to keep the door open.
Now we have again, this is the section where we're going into essential oils. And again, you know, essential oils, it's like some of the other things that we've done. We can spend a whole 8 weeks on nothing but essential oils.
This is class 4.
And so, remember, this advanced medical missionary class is not designed to give you a PhD in essential oils.
What? What do you think I'm working here for, man? What do you think I'm coming to these classes?
But in the future, like I said before,
That's when we get our PhD.
right, because you know, there's a lot of things we could go a lot more in depth to, but just kind of give you like a working knowledge, and you're going to keep seeing as we go through these terms that we learned early on, and from the intermediate class, we were talking about the different types of herbs, the classes of herbs. You're going to keep hearing them throughout even the essential oils, because all essential oils are essentially herbs in a more concentrated form. And so, like in fact now, here you have a diffuser over here on the side, and we're diffusing one of the oils that we're going to be talking about today. And so, again, sometimes you can diffuse these oils, and you can put certain different oils in there, or a combination of oils. Some of them can help you to relax, some of them can help you with congestion, different types of things. Essential oils, they really work. And so this is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's go ahead and
I have a question.
mhm.
I know there is a company, I can't think of the name of the company right now, but they're extremely effective but very, very expensive.
Probably the one I'm using, Young Living.
Yes.
They're like a Christian company.
Are you recommending a certain company or for us to make our own?
Either. I mean, they have a very, very high quality oils. They're expensive, but they're high quality. And here's what I always do when I'm dealing with natural medicine, is that
What makes them high quality?
their processing, the way that they grow them,
Okay.
and so when it comes to, if it's me, I'm always going to opt for quality, even if I have to pay more, because normally when you opt for quality, you have to use less, right? And it's more effective. And so that's just me.
So it can balance out.
Yeah, they balance out, because a lot of times you get, it isn't anything really, because let's say you buy some cheap shoes,
Yeah.
and you next thing you know, say, well, I'm going to get them because they save money, and next thing you know, next thing you know, they come apart, so now you got to buy the shoes again,
That
right?
happened with Karen on Saturday. She was right there.
And so, well, listen now, and so now what happens is you end up buying or spending the money 2 or 3 times, and on the trouble and everything that goes through it. So,
You'll give us a contact number.
yeah. And so here, what we're going to be going over here, we're going to do half of them today and half of them Wednesday night. But the one we're going through these are ancient oils of the Scripture. And right now, the one we have diffusing is cedar wood. Yeah, frankincense is one of them. Right there, this is cedar wood right now that I just put in the diffuser. There's hyssop.
It's
Hyssop.
Isn't that what
I-
David used?
It's up.
Mhm.
It's a,
Hyssop, yeah.
it's,
I kept saying hyssop, but that's not right. I'm not pronouncing that right.
are you from Jamaica?
No.
No,
I'm
Jamaica pronounce it
noticing,
right.
some of the words you pronounce are a little different, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, maybe you're from Jamaica.
I'm from Georgia.
Born to Jamaican lady.
Okay,
We're gonna have
He's
aloes,
alligator.
cassia, myrrh, cypress, myrtle, cedarwood, hyssop,
It's up.
hyssop, frankincense, of course. Now, frankincense is the king of earth, king of
Yeah.
oils.
That's what Jesus
Uh,
received.
And so,
you'll tell us why.
yeah, I will. And,
That's cool.
but this is, I got this from Young Living, and it's called, they have this package. This particular one is oil. You can buy them separately, or you can, this is the one that's oil through the scripture.
They have separate, different.
Yeah, you can buy, different types. Or you can buy a single. Again, I'm not a, what do they call them, a distributor for them. They have that. I'm not one for them. I just get them,
Buy this stuff.
yeah. And so, okay. Herbs come in various forms, as we know it's already. They come in, like dried leaves, teas, oils. We've talked about those, right? There's extracts, there's leaves, there's powder. These oils have their own set of uses and benefits, what we're talking about now, essential oils. Herbal oils can be taken or used in different ways, even as a topical application. Now, some of these oils, almost most oils, because of how concentrated they are, most oils you're going to have to combine with a carrier oil, like olive oil or coconut oil, because they can irritate the skin. So there's some that you don't have to, but most of them that's going to be the ideal thing to do. Oils can be essential or infused. Essential is just use them outright. Infused is what we have here. And this is what they call this an infuser. Essential oils require a large quantity of plant material and need to be diluted before use because they are concentrated. Infused oils, however, use only a small amount of plant material and are used full strength. Essential oils can be used in different ways, including aromatherapy, skin massage, adding them to bath water, using them in a compress, or burning them in a diffuser. Fresh herbs are preferred to getting processed varieties. Just as using too much of any food or health product can carry health risks, herbal oil should be used moderately and intelligently, like with everything. Some people, when we talk about, sometimes, say for instance, we were talking about how to use, say we did a whole class, what you could do on how to use charcoal. Most people know how to use charcoal, but there are some uses of charcoal that you might not even thought about what it can do.
Right.
And so, but I know people who use charcoal for everything. And you have to use it intelligently. There's some things that work better for certain things than charcoal. And so that's why you have to use these things intelligently. So, but charcoal is, Ellen White talked about charcoal, and she says, if it was one thing that she had to have, if she could have anything else, if she was stranded on an island, for instance, or something, and she could choose what she would have, it would be charcoal. I call it black gold, because charcoal has a lot of various uses, but that does not mean that that's the only thing that you have to understand how to use. Okay. Now the first one we're going to talk about is aloe. That's one of the oils of the scripture. Aloe oil alone is not a true, pure essential oil. It is prepared by combining the aloe vera plant with the fatty oil. This plant oil basically contains the properties of aloe from which it is extracted. However, since it is combined with the carrier oil, its nutritional properties may be enhanced or reduced. The ancient Egyptians valued the plant as a treatment for infections, rashes, and burns, and referred to it as the plant of immortality. So just basically the plant, aloe plant, was used by the ancient Egyptians for infections, for rashes, and burns. Even today we use aloe for burns, right?
Yep.
Either in the gel or however you use it. The plant, just break the plant and rub it in. So they had an idea of how to use it and what it was good for. The Arabs and the Greeks and the Spaniards used aloe vera to help reduce perspiration and eliminate body odor.
Really?
Period. The Spanish missionaries often carried aloe vera with them to help treat the sick. So they were medical missionaries, huh? The Spanish missionaries, they went out doing medical missionary work, and what happened? They carried with them aloe vera to help treat the sick. Uses of aloe vera oil include massage oil due to its ability to relieve pain and inflammation. So number one, aloe oil, essential oil, can be used to massage into area to help reduce pain and inflammation. Aromatherapy oil. Aromatherapists often mix aloe vera oil with other carrier oils in order to make use of its healing and rejuvenating activities. Used as a hair care product as well. It can be used as a conditioner to help treat dry scalp and dandruff. It can be used as a treatment for insect bites. This plant oil can also be used to help treat swelling and inflammation caused by, what did they say at the bottom?
Bees and wasps, insect bites.
Caused by insect bites from
Bees and wasps. All right. What else can be used for that? Instant pop question. What else can be used for the bite of insects and
Onion.
tea tree oil.
tea tree oil, onion,
Charcoal,
charcoal, hydrogen peroxide,
lavender.
Baking soda.
lavender, baking soda,
All of the above.
huh?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Even on not, cigarette thing.
Tobacco,
Tobacco is used to pull out the soil.
Bentonite clay.
Bentonite clay.
got to choose first though.
Also used as a dental care product. Now, how would you use aloe as a dental care product?
Bite and sore.
I just rip it off and stick it in your mouth.
Nutrients in aloe vera have been found to aid in the treatment of periodontal disease. Used as a massage oil
Oh.
for the gums and teeth.
You mix it with oil,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of pick the leaves and.
I would probably combine it with coconut oil. Now, remember we talked about oil pulling?
Yes,
You know, you can
yeah.
do oil pulling with coconut oil, sesame oil, olive oil. Sesame and coconut are probably the best, especially if you combine them. So that I would probably mix, if I was going to use this as an essential oil, I would probably mix it with some coconut oil and massage my gums with it. Now internally, I'm gonna ask you a question. What other, and this is going back into other classes, what else would you combine for gum and teeth health?
Clove seed.
Not if you have, the clove is good, but not for pain, because clove is good for pain, but just for the overall health of your gums. There you go.
CoQ10,
CoQ10. CoQ10. Clove is good if you're having pain, toothache pain, etc. But CoQ10 is good for the health of your gums. You have a lot of CoQ10 in your heart, and naturally you have a lot of CoQ10 in your gums. Remember I told you in one of the classes that I started taking CoQ10 the first time I was taking it, sublingual, and all of a sudden all of my wisdom teeth started coming through in like a couple of weeks.
Just what you wanted.
Yeah.
You started getting wiser, didn't you?
And then remember I told you the dentist told me a while back, oh, we want you to get a, what do you call it?
root canal.
Root canal. I don't need to get a root canal, so I started taking CoQ10, the high amounts.
Oh, you just take it and just.
Yeah, I take sublingual. And
Sublingual.
and I mean, I've talked to other people that I recommended to. I mean, to the point I've talked to people who they need a root canal and they couldn't even chew on this side.
Right, that's painful.
And you knew the amount of CoQ10 would be from between 200 and 500 milligrams a day, and normally it'll wipe that out. You have to take it for months, and there's ways you can do for probably a year. You can probably reverse the need for a root canal by using that and maybe one or two other herbs. But
I just purchased this toothpaste. It's called Ugly by Nature.
it's called Ugly by Nature.
Ugly by Nature. It's completely natural. It even has an expiration date, and it has clay in it, and it has charcoal. And I've noticed the difference in my teeth. Like, because I had braces and my teeth shifted on top, I have to like floss a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constantly flossing at work, but I noticed that there's like a big difference now.
Because you what?
And just the health overall of my gums and my teeth.
Right.
And turmeric, you could actually brush your teeth with turmeric and it'll help whiten as well.
That's true.
Instead of making it yellow.
Right, actually. Just like charcoal, when you brush your teeth with charcoal,
Yeah.
your teeth don't
To see
stay
that, to
black,
believe
it
that.
whitens your teeth.
And you know
So you can add charcoal to your, like if you're using a natural toothpaste, you can add that to your toothpaste.
I use the baking soda.
Well, let me tell you this, that that there, especially when there's some studies that show for women that you have an increased risk of heart attack when you don't have good dental health. Because the bacteria in the teeth, the gums, travel down to the heart. It hadn't been shown in men yet for whatever reason, but it's been shown in women.
Those are studies you say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that toothpaste is called ugly by nature because it has charcoal. It's gonna leave your sink
Oh,
gray
great, right.
When did
So
you get
it's-
it from? Health food store?
online.
Now it says here that if you use aloe, the oil, now we're talking about the essential oil now, which is more concentrated than some of the other forms in which you would use this. You can be used as a massage oil for your gums and teeth. This oil can help reduce the risk of caries or cavities, plaque, and even gingivitis. Now I'm going to spend a lot of time on the composition. You can look at this when I upload it. But these are some of the things that are in aloe. Vitamin C, A in the form of beta carotene, vitamin E, B1, B2, B6. It's interesting, we talked about some of those last week, remember? Some of the minerals, the aloe vera plant is known to absorb nutrients from the soil. It can provide iron, copper, magnesium, calcium, manganese, sodium, and potassium. There are 20 amino acids in aloe oil, as well as 7 out of 8 essential amino acids.
Yeah.
These are just some of the other compounds that are in, and some of the benefits of them.
How people drink aloe, is that less potent or more potent than the oil? Like,
Yeah, those the kind that you can drink is less potent than the oil. The oil, because it's so concentrated, is very, very potent, and I would not recommend anyone drinking the oil. Most of these essential oils, a lot of them you can't even use them internally because they're so concentrated. Some of them you can, but most of them you can't. It possesses anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antioxidant, and astringent. Now it's interesting, this word keeps popping up when we talk about herbs, right? And remember we talked about some herbs have an astringent effect, some and this is one of the classes that this herb falls under. And remember that list I gave you guys, the very first class we're here from, and it talked about the different type of herbs and what classes they're in. And remember I said that the reason that's important is that sometimes you will have someone and they will be, you will say, oh, this herb is good for them. But then when you check their medication, there may be a conflict. So if you know the classes of herbs, to find, if you understand what herbs fall in this class, instead of you like, oh, what do I do? You just look under that class of herbs and say, okay, I'm going to use another one to do what the other one could do, and it doesn't conflict with the person's medication. So if you had a group of herbs that are astringent, right, which aloe is one of them, and you need a herb that gives you the benefits of an astringent herb, and say you can't use aloe, then if you understand the ones, and in the intermediate class, we went through a lot of these, went through a whole lot of them. And you can look and say, okay, aloe conflicts with their medication, but let me look and find another astringent herb that may do the same thing or something similar, and therefore you can swap it out. And so therefore you're not left without, I don't know what to do now. Aloe oil is also known for its ability to promote skin health. It helps the skin heal from sunburn quickly due to its antioxidant properties. Aloe oil can also assist in keeping your skin supple and firm. It may help prevent the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and stretch marks. Ladies, women are always concerned about their skin and the way that they look, and so this is one of the things that aloe can help.
Well, you kind of be going over like the ones that are safer to do internal. So
Yeah.
okay.
Cassia bark oil is derived from the cinnamon cassia plant.
Is it cassia or cassia?
Cassia.
Cassia?
Yeah, you can. It is frequently compared to cinnamon bark oil and cinnamon leaf oil, which are both extracted from the same plant species.
Mm.
So it's in the same family. Now, just also, I like to throw this out just to see what you're thinking. Who knows what cinnamon bark oil is used for? It can be good to help. Anyone?
Diabetes.
There you go, diabetes. It's also, it's one of the chief reasons it's used. It also can be used for menstrual cramp pain. Cassia is native to China.
Yeah, I saw a big stick. I used to think they were little sticks.
Right, yeah, there.
And I saw, in a section Chinese store, big, like a bark,
Yep,
big brown bark.
it's about this long.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yep. Cassia bark oil, on the other hand, has been found beneficial in helping to treat fevers, colds, flu, and chills when used in vapor therapy, kind of like this. Or also, actually vapor therapy is more in harmony with what we did in the first medical missionary class. Remember when we had the pot and the water, and you had the towel over you?
Yeah.
Over it? That's more.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Traditional cassia bark plant is extensively used, or was extensively used in Chinese herbal medicine. Still is, really, particularly in vascular disorders. Cassia bark oil, however, is used in improving cardiovascular, digestive, genital urinary circulation, and immune system disorders. Now let's stop for a moment. So we're looking at what the oil can be used in, right? Improving cardiovascular issues, right? Remember in this particular course here, we talked a lot about some of the herbs that are good for cardiovascular issues. And we talked about cardiovascular issues being the #1 cause of death in this country.
Yeah.
It is also known to deliver remarkable effects in helping to treat nausea and vomiting, lowering body temperature when a person has a fever, improving blood circulation, relieving viral infections. What's one viral infection? A cold? Don't antibiotics help colds and flus?
No. Let's go back to
Bacteria, that's right. Remember, antibiotics do not work for viral infections, only for bacterial infections.
What's the last one?
Easing depression.
Better write another one, boy.
Relieving joint pain, fighting microbial infections in the body, strengthening the gums, hair, roots, and muscles. Hair, roots, and muscles. Now, you're going to see some of your terms again in the classes of herbs. It works as a what? This is one of the classes of herbs that we talked about. So herbs that fall in this class are what? Herbs that reduce fevers. Anti-emetic herbs. That's another class of your herbs. What herbs? These help to stop vomiting. Then you have some herbs that actually can cause vomiting. Sometimes you want to induce vomiting. Anyone knows a herb that can do that?
Epicant.
Lobelia. If you take in enough lobelia tea, it will actually cause vomiting. And sometimes you want to do that. So,
Yeah.
so an anti-emetic herb, which is in your list, it's on your class of herbs, those help stop vomiting. Carminative herb, what does that do? Lessens instances of gas or flatulence. And anti-arthritic, and that's also anti-arthritic agent. So remember, and the reason I keep mentioning these classes is because it's very important. A lot of herbs fall under these classes. So you got someone who's vomiting and they're not stopping, you're going to stop it, you know that I need to use an anti-emetic herb because they help stop. And maybe they're different kinds. So you say you have one and you don't have the other, we can say, well, you know what? I know that this is also an antiemetic herb, so I can use this. Because sometimes you might not have all that. You might say, I know this one works, but what can I do? And there's nothing wrong if you gotta refer to your notes. You gotta refer to your notes.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna remember everything.
No.
It's not gonna happen. Block that up. Suggested applications. Hello. For cassia bark oil include anti-diarrhea, for diarrhea and other digestive issues, dilute and massage the essential oil over the abdomen. Now I will say this about this oil. Some doctors, I'm trying to think of his name, Dr. Marcola. He's one that does not recommend this particular oil being used on the skin without the direction of an aromatherapy, etc. He thinks that because it's such an irritant, it can be such an irritant. I would say it's going to depend on the amount of the carrier oil that you mix with it.
Yeah.
And so the carrier oil ratio to the oil itself. You know, if you having, say you put 2 drops of this oil on with a little bit of say 3 drops, just an example of coconut oil, of olive oil. You can do a little test to see if it irritates the skin. If it does, you know that you don't have enough carrier oil there. You need to increase the ratio. Antifungal. Apply a small amount of cassia bark oil to the affected area at least once or twice daily. Now, what would be an instance in where you would have to be dealing with something that is that's causing problems and its origin is because there's a fungus there? What would be something?
Athlete's feet.
Athlete's foot, good example.
Jock.
Jock itch, which is caused by, it's the same thing essentially. All jock is athlete's foot in the
For men.
yeah.
They carry it for men.
Right, for men. And so what happens, this is one of the oils that can help that. Now another oil that can help that, just in passing, is tea tree oil and oil of oregano. Oil of oregano will work even better for it. Than tea tree oil will work for it really good, but oil of oregano takes it to the next level.
Burn?
It burns. I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to be itching. Let's say a guy has jock itch or athlete's foot. The more he scratches, the more it's going to itch.
Oh yeah. That feels good.
So he's just scratching away, right? It's itching more and more, and it's starting to bleed, right? But it's going to keep itching.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you what happens. If he puts either tea tree oil or oil of oregano there, at first it's going to burn.
Burn your morning.
It's going to burn like fire. Then maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the itching's going to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, but with the oil of oregano, it's going to basically clear it up. The tea tree oil will keep back the symptoms for a while, but in my experience, if you keep using the oil of oregano on it, the oil of oregano will clear it up. Now, you're going to have the same result though. It's going to, when you first put it on, it's going to itch. It's first going to burn, and then the itch is going to increase for a little while, maybe 5 minutes. And then it's going to
Doing the dog.
do another.
Now, on all these oils, are you saying they are all mixed with some kind of carrier oil, like coconut oil or something, whenever you're using them on the
Most
skin?
of them.
Or is there some where you
There's
just
some you
directly
can use
put it
straight, there's some. But most of these essential oils is good to use in a carrier oil.
So decolors always use a carrier oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah, because they're very, very concentrated. And again, sometimes you don't have to, but for some of them you don't have to.
It depends on your tolerance too.
Yeah, it depends on your tolerance.
Does it give you directions on the bottle?
Not
How
always.
many
Not all of them.
drops?
Not all of
Mom
them.
will just be old.
Because a lot of times it depends on what you're using it for. Like, for some oils, you may, say I'm going to put 5 to 7 drops for a particular issue. You may be mixing 2 or 3 other oils with it, so you may put 4 drops of this and 3 drops of that and 4 drops of the other. So it's going to, and it depends on what you're working on. You may have an issue of, let's say you decide you're going to use this for fungal, as an antifungal oil. But say you're going to mix this with oil of oregano, right? So now you say, okay, I have a person here, let's say you ask the person, okay, how long have you had this? How long have you had this jacket? And say the person says, I've had this jacket for, 3 weeks. And I can't bear it anymore. So that's going to dictate how strong you're going to make it, right? Again, you may just say, I'm only going to use one oil. I'm just going to use. Let's say you're just going to use this, and say you're going to put. You tell the person, okay, I want you to mix 4 to 6 drops of this oil with the equivalent of 10 drops of olive oil. And I want you to apply it on this area once, 3 times a day, or when needed. And again, I'm just thinking off the top of my head what I might. A lot of it's going to be dependent on what the person is telling you.
But that seems to be reasonable, like between like 3 and 5 drops. Range.
It could be. It depends on how intense their itching is.
No, I mean that's safe to use.
Yeah. It depends. It depends.
Of each oil,
Right.
average.
Okay.
And that's why, remember I was telling you guys, when we get to this level, the advanced level, I want you to think it through. So in other words, you have a template, if you will, but you sometimes have to step outside of the template and think it through. You understand what I'm saying? That's really what's going to make you effective.
Yeah, but it's just good to know
Yeah, I thought
where
it would be
to
like a teaspoon of
where
olive
to
oil.
jump off, where to jump off. What is safe.
Well, and it's true, but it depends. It depends on. Let's say you started with this. I always start at the lowest end.
Yep.
Okay, let's say 3 to 5 drops.
Okay.
For this. Say with aloe, you may be able to use 7 to 10 drops
Right. Okay, let's.
because it's a different oil. You understand what I'm saying?
Not as strong.
It's not as strong, right? Remember I said with this one, this
You're
oil
more
is very
conservative
potent.
with a more potent.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Alright. Like citrus, with citrus you can generally use more.
More, you're right, because it's not as
Concentrated.
intense, if you will.
Is there like a template for like 1 part or essential oil to 3 parts the carrier at least? Or that also is dependent?
Maybe too much.
Normally, with the carrier oil, you normally don't have to use a lot of it. The whole idea behind the carrier oil is just to cut back on any particular irritant of the skin, if you're using it topically.
So what I normally do, let's say I have a burn in my hand and want to use a hot one.
Right?
Or the thing with the hot stuff you saw me, remember that
The DMSO?
DMSO, okay,
Right.
what I'll do, I put some vitamin E oil over my arm first,
Right.
then I put that, and it doesn't burn, but
Right,
the result is there.
right, and that's the
Judgment.
DMSO, right?
Yep.
Right. And so and what's going to happen is that, let's say for instance, I have here, antifungal, apply a small amount of cassia bark oil to the affected area at least once or twice a day. Now, when I say a small amount, what is a small amount? 2 to 3 drops? 3 to 5 drops? Right?
And again, it depends on the size of the.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what you're doing. I want you to think it through.
How you using it?
Right, how you using it. So in other words, you have a basic understanding. Okay, yeah. And this is why it's built. The class is built. It built from the basic medical missionary to the intermediate medical missionary to where we are now. And the idea behind that is to build on that knowledge. You build on that knowledge. You build on that knowledge till you get, first you walk, you take it step by step. This is the basic. Then you get to the intermediate. Then you get to the advanced where you say, okay, I need to think this through. Yeah, I have a basic idea. So when I say a small amount, I'm trying to get you to say, okay, what is a small amount? And like you said, well, a small amount for your hand might be different from a small amount of your abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bigger area.
Right. For colds, it says you can diffuse, for colds and flu, you can diffuse the essential oil. What are we doing now over here? We're diffusing, right? What oil are we diffusing? Anyone remember?
Sandalwood.
Sandalwood? Huh?
Cedarwood.
Cedarwood. Sandalwood, we have that too. It's also in the oils of the Bible. But this is cedarwood.
So go back to cedar tree.
Can you pass that around so we can see what you're talking about?
How much is that, something like that cost?
Yeah, I'll pass it around when we're done, because people will be looking like this when they.
We missing the class.
So this is the one that we're diffusing right now. Cedarwood. Essential oil is extracted through the process of steam distillation from wood pieces of a
Is
cedarwood
it
tree.
CEAD or CED?
CEDAR.
CEDAR. The major components of cedarwood essential oil are alpha-citrin. These are some of the constituents, if you will, of the wood. You don't really have to know that, but
That's good.
if you want to go deeper in it on your own, you can. This will just help you to understand some of the constituents of it. Now, eczema is one of the things. Now, eczema is a skin issue, right? So that lets you know it can be used topically, correct?
Yeah.
Eczema, cedarwood essential oil can cure the inflammation that leads to this irritating skin issue. It reduces skin peeling and treats the infection with its antifungal properties. Add the oil to your skin, lotion or soap, rub it on infected or itchy area directly, or make yourself a bath with 5 drops of cedarwood oil added to it. Now, I said 5 drops, right? Could you put 7 drops?
Yes.
Could you put 10 drops?
Yes.
Yeah, this is just a template.
Good to know.
So how much oil you put in, like oil wise, like the ratio is like an ounce or 2 ounces, or there's nothing like real big. You can put like an ounce or 2 and that's it.
Probably even less than that.
Just enough to do the area then.
Yeah, just nothing there.
Alright.
Cedarwood essential oil can stimulate the hair follicles and increase circulation to the scalp. This contributes to hair growth and slows hair loss. Herbalists and aromatherapists have recommended essential oils for years to treat hair loss, thinning hair, and all the differences.
And the ones you have here can be used, I'll take those.
Yeah, that's cedarwood is right here. This cedarwood from Young Living is some of the highest quality that you can get.
What does that mean? If you run that you're gonna grow thick hair?
Oh, now this you're gonna apply it. You apply it to the scalp.
Put on your hair.
So this hair,
No,
if
when
you
You
use
wake up and you've got
That's
like.
just
It don't
too
work.
easy.
It don't
have
work.
an afro.
Aromatherapy every day, you get afro.
Oh, gosh.
There is evidence that applying cedarwood oil in combination with the essential oils from thyme, rosemary, and lavender to the scalp improves hair growth in up to 44% of people with hair loss after 7 months of treatment.
And that just comes from the bark? It's amazing.
Do this, add cedarwood oil to your shampoo or conditioner, or just massage the oil into your scalp and let it sit for 30 minutes and then rinse it away.
I imagine God was really busy thinking when he was creating.
No, you just think about it and do it.
Can you imagine? It wasn't just a tree.
Right.
Those are heavy wood too, they use for building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
God
cedarwood
of
was used for
everything.
building.
What a mind.
What
What a creator.
I mean, even the, oh, go ahead.
It says for dry scalp, cedarwood essential oil helps reduce dry or flaky scalp. It stimulates the scalp and increases circulation. Mix 2 drops of cedarwood essential oil with coconut oil to create a mixture with antifungal and moisturizing properties. You can add the mixture to your scalp and rub it in for 5 minutes. For the best results, let it sit on your scalp for 30 minutes or so and then wash it out. Now, I also like to remind you of this. Using oils does not mean that you don't still take a full body approach. Because a lot of times when people have dandruff or dry scalp and things of that nature, there's some nutritional issues that are going on. Right. So remember, always remember, it's the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the mental. Everything is there, right? It's a whole body approach that you're taking. Because a lot of times we'll say, oh, is this easy? I've seen it happen to a lot of people.
Use one thing.
Yeah, and we say, we become like, we begin to treat symptoms instead of the issue. And people say, oh, what can you heard me say this, people say, what can I use for this? What can I use for that?
Yeah.
And really, they're not even realizing what they're asking. What they're not realizing is that they're asking to treat the symptom. That's really what they're asking. They don't realize it. Sometimes it's not their fault, it's just the way they've been conditioned to think. Right? And so people say, oh, well, what do I use for my headache? Or what do I... And so people would get irritated when you say, well, why do you have a headache?
Right, cause.
Yeah, why? Because you can go and take some Tylenol and stop the pain, right? Or take some Advil and stop the pain. But if that's all you want to do, so we can give you something natural to stop the pain for the time being, but we need to find out why you're having the pain in the first place.
I have a lot of patients that come in with a lot of herb medication, and sometimes I feel like you're not realizing you're still taking medication.
Still taking medication, you're right.
You know, it's like, just fix the problem, but they figure just by changing it,
You're right.
that's it.
And that's one of the challenges as medical missionaries, doctors, whatever it is that is educating the people. And remember, if you look up the word doctor originally, it means a teacher, the educator. The number one role of a doctor is to teach or instruct, right? So if you're if you're teaching and instructing people, it's like giving them, it's like teaching them how to fish, as opposed to giving them a fish, right? And so, okay. Cough relief. Cedarwood essential oil has the power to remove phlegm from the respiratory tract and lungs, which reduces congestion from a cough or cold. You use the cedarwood essential oil before going to bed. It loosens bothersome phlegm and relieves headaches as well. Rub 2 drops of oil into your chest and throat and rub it in for a minute. You can also add the oil to your nose and upper lip to help with breathing. I can remember when I was a boy, sometimes my grandmother would use, what's it called, the Vicks Vapor Rub?
Yeah.
And what do you think the main active ingredient in the Vicks Vapor Rub was? Eucalyptus oil, right? Or eucalyptus. So she would rub it here, rub it on your chest and on your back, and it would, and you wake up the next day like new.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So the only thing you're using cedarwood.
Do people put that up in their nose or just on the edge?
Yeah, just here, not up in there.
Pure, what makes it?
Depends.
You can mix if you want. It's not, if you rub it, I would probably mix it with a little carrier oil.
Yeah.
I probably would mix it with a little.
It goes further.
Yeah. Cedarwood essential oil cures internal and external fungal infection. A lot of people have fungus inside.
Yeah.
It can protect from fungal pathogens and food poisoning. One study done at the Department of Oral Medicine and Radiology in India found that cedarwood essential oil is a viable alternative to other antibacterial agents and is an effective module in controlling both bacteria and yeast responsible for oral infections. The study, can you lift that up a little bit? The study also proved that cinnamon oil, lemongrass oil, clove oil, and eucalyptus oil have the same antifungal properties. This should be one of your favorite oils, eucalyptus. It is one of
Put
the.
some under the leg there.
It's okay.
It's not you.
Actually, cypress oil, the cypress tree is actually one of the evergreen trees, or trees in the evergreen class.
Never the never go.
The cypress tree was valued by ancient civilization for its medicinal uses. The Chinese chewed the cones to heal their bleeding gums, while Hippocrates recommended it for treating hemorrhoids. Now, Hippocrates is one of the, you know how doctors used to take the Hippocratic Oath? Now, what most people don't tell you, that Hippocrates was actually a natural doctor. Right? But it's physicians, medical doctors who take his oath. They say it's an oath that I should do no harm. But,
Seems like you get the word hypocrite from that word.
Medicinally, cypress oil can be used topically, inhaled via vapor therapy, or ingested in small doses. It's been used by practitioners to help regulate blood flow and alleviate menstrual problems, detoxify and decongest the lymphatic system, reduce water retention, and relax muscles. Now, one of the things that we haven't talked about a lot is the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is closely associated with your immune system. In fact, it could be considered as almost a secondary immune system. Lymphatics are very important. You know one of the best things you can do to help decongest the lymphatic system is a trampoline.
Jump.
The little small trampoline.
Jump.
It's one of the best things you can do. Massage, you're right. Massage is good also for the lymphatic system. But it is like a, you know, it plays an integral part with your immune system. And the the cypress oil is one that can help detoxify and decongest the lymphatic system. And of course, in combination with the trampoline and maybe massage, I would use everything available to me. If I was trying to deal with the lymphatic system, I would use the trampoline, I would use the massage, and I would use the oil. I would do a complete program, I would combine all of them together.
I hear some people get upside down, 45 degree.
You mean like it,
Yeah, they kind of, it was upside down for the lymphatic.
for the lymphatic system? Oh, right.
Oh.
And yeah, you know the trampoline I'm talking about too, right?
A little small?
Yeah, a little smaller. You can buy one at probably Walmart for maybe $40, I don't know, maybe a little bit more. But, you know, and you jump maybe 15 minutes a day, 15, 20 minutes a day. And it's one of the ways to help decongest the lymphatic system. Here's some ways to use cypress oil. Inhale or vaporize it through a diffuser to calm and relax your mind. Had a stressful day? Get you a diffuser. Put it in. So I'm going to diffuse a little bit of this oil. Or if you're working with someone, you can also do the same thing. Put them on a diffuser to help relax the mind. It can also help alleviate breathing disorders such as asthma, emphysema, and bronchitis. Use it as a massage oil to relieve asthma, arthritis, rheumatism, cramps, varicose veins, and heavy menstrual flow. You can add it to a warm bath. And remember, a lot of these oils, you don't need as much because they're so concentrated. You can add it to your favorite lotion or cream to help soothe broken skin and varicose veins. It also has astringent effects that can help clarify oil